The biggest misconception when it comes to creating content is thinking that every piece of content we create is valuable. Brendan Kane, the author of this book, The Guide to Going Viral, he actually says that because it's so easy to create content, people believe that every piece of content is valuable and that we can get paid from it. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you how to always create valuable content for your audience. Because right now, creating content looks like posting a picture of your cat. That's content. Sharing your workout with a really inspirational quote. That's also content. Sharing your top 3 tips to overcome a challenge. That is also content. But what determines if the content is valuable isn't you. It's actually your audience. But up until now, you have been the one determining how valuable your content is because you're like, I know exactly what you need. You've packed your content with so much knowledge and information, and you're like, here, 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 giving your audience what you believe is valuable. And your audience is looking at you like, that's not valuable to me. Imagine this. Imagine that you came to me and you said, I am really hungry and I haven't eaten all day. And I run into the kitchen and I whip up a steak because I'm so good at creating steak. I know exactly when to flip it. I know how much seasoning needs to be used, and it is perfect. I come out and I serve this steak to you, and you're looking at me like, and I'm like, you're really hungry. You said that you wanted your problem solved, but I never took the time to discover that you don't eat meat. So although I served you food, although I served you something that I worked really hard at and something that is valuable because this piece of food is inherently valuable, it's actually not valuable to you because that's not what you are here to consume. And so this is what is happening in our content. We are serving our audience with everything we want them to have, not the thing that they actually desire to have. So we must take the time to discover what is valuable to our audience. If you are a go-getter, a high achiever, somebody who's had a lot of accomplishments, and you have been praised for how smart you are and how knowledgeable you are, it's very likely that you are showing up in your content, pouring your heart and soul, pouring all of your information into the content. And now what you're actually needing is validation. You're needing the like, the comment, and you're needing the dollars. You need the people to pay you to validate that you are really good at what you do. And so now you've approached social media and creating content for your business as a means to get something from, not to give something to. Social media is not a platform as a creator and a business owner for us to get something from. It is a platform for us to give something to. But if we are approaching this with the energy of, I'm creating this content to show you how smart I am, to show you what I've created, to show you how knowledgeable I am, to show you all this information that I know, your audience is going to feel like, wow, this person's really given me a lot of stuff, but none of it is stuff that they actually desire to have or desire to consume. And so now you need all this validation, and that is creating a disconnect with your audience because you are looking to be served rather than looking to serve. And so your audience will always hear everything that you are not saying. And what you aren't saying is you need the validation, you need the likes, you need the comments, and you need the dollars. But it's something that they're going to be able to pick up on and feel. And that is going to completely neutralize the energy between you and your audience. And so when you know exactly what your audience needs, because you are the expert, you are the authority, it is also your job to wrap up your knowledge in a way that your audience is able to consume it. So even if you know the core root and you know that this is really what they need to solve their problem, your audience isn't thinking about their problem as deeply as you are. And so they're aware that they've got a problem. They're aware something's going on, but they're unsure about what is the root. So if you show up online trying to give them the root, they're like, this isn't connecting. They're not putting the dots together. And so it's really essential that you discover what's valuable to them so that that way you can wrap up the root of your knowledge that you know is going to serve them and now position it in the marketplace as something that they deem desirable. It's almost like I've always heard if you want to feed if you want to feed a kid a carrot, cover it in chocolate, right? So the carrot is the root. It's what you know that your audience needs for sure because you are the expert, you are the problem solver. But they're like chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Okay, well cover your knowledge in the thing that you know they need, which means you have to now discover what it is they need. So I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself and to dive into to always deliver valuable content to your audience. The first one is understanding deeply their current situation. And I don't just mean understanding their pains and their desires. I mean understanding what they are feeling, what they are thinking, and also how they are responding in their current situation. And be so detailed. I mean, so detailed about their current situation. And this might mean you go out and ask questions, you poll your audience on social media, you gather a few people and say, hey, I'd love to ask you a few questions about this, this, and this. Find where your people congregate online and ask them questions so that now you have the answers of what makes content valuable to them. Like you're actually getting served exactly what it is they want. And so even though they might not understand the core, what you are understanding though is what they're paying attention to. Because content that we put out online is only what our people are paying attention to. What is top of mind for them? The solution you're providing is probably somewhere down here, more in the depth of the iceberg. It's not at the tip. And so your people are paying attention to what's up top. And when you know that, now you can speak to what's up top and then funnel your content into something deeper with a deeper core message. So understand deeply their current situation and not just knowing the situation they're in, but what they're thinking and what they're feeling about being in that situation, and also what they have tried in order to solve their problem. The second thing is understanding deeply the outcomes and desire that they are working towards. What are they working towards? So they're in this situation. They've tried doing some things to get a result. Well, where is it they're trying to go? If they are at point A and they're trying to go to point C, well, what does that point C look like? What is the new situation that they want to see themselves in? And when you know what they've also tried in order to get themselves to this point C that they want to get to, that's something that you're going to speak to them in your content. Number 3 is creating the content that helps them safely walk across the bridge from where they are to where they want to go. So if they're here at point A and they want to go to point C and you can help them get to C, imagine this being a bridge, a walk across. Your pieces of content are going to bridge the gap for them to get to where they want to go. And so that's why you have to know, well, what else have they tried? Because maybe what they tried got them to, midway point between A and B, or maybe midway point between B and C, but they're still not quite at C where they want to be. That rhymed. I didn't mean for it to rhyme. But you need to now create the content that is going to bridge that gap for them. And I've got 5 types of content that I'm going to share with you to help you do that. But you're going to want to bridge that gap. So you got to know, what does this situation look like over here at A? What does this situation look like over here at C? And then how are they feeling? Okay. What are they thinking? And then that's what you're speaking to as you guide them across the bridge. Now, the 5 types of content that you're going to want to create that will always be valuable to your audience, as long as you have the answers to the first 3 questions that I just shared, this will always be valuable because this is not framed from your vantage point as the coach, the consultant, the course creator, as the business owner. This is now framed from the point of view of your audience. So the first type of content is answering a question. What is a question that your audience has? What is something they wake up in the morning and ask themselves? Middle of the day, they ponder about. Before bed, keeps them up at night. What is a question? And it's going to be more than one, because if they're trying to get from A to C, they got a lot of questions. So write down, what are the questions that they have? So then in your content, you can answer those questions that they have. You're not delivering information because you want to. Now you're actually delivering information that answers something that they already desire to be answered. So, what is a question or questions that your people have, and answering that in your content? Second type is help them believe they can do it. Now, if your person is here at A and they want to go to C, they might have some fears, they might have some doubts, which is why the first part of this, I said, what are they thinking and what are they feeling about their situation, right? And so what can you share with them that will help them believe that they can do it? What's going to help them build their belief? How can you instill their belief in their content? Do you have some social proof that, a person that was very similar to a certain kind of person that you're working with? You're sharing a testimonial, you're sharing social proof that you've helped people that are similar to the audience that you're looking to serve. So if you've got social proof, if you have your own story that you are sharing, how can you help them believe that they can make it where they are to over here to point C? So creating belief content that builds them up. The third kind of content is giving them a new perspective on their problem. So maybe they are only looking for certain kinds of solutions for their problem, but hey, they need something a little bit deeper than what they've already been doing. So creating content that gives them a new way to see their problem, so that way they can start being guided towards a deeper solution, so that they can understand that, hey, what they've been doing was maybe just a band-aid solution. And what they really need is something a bit deeper, which is what you do and how you serve. So give them a new perspective. How can you debunk some myths that they have in their mind? How can you take where they are and then, help them turn their head just a couple degrees so that they can start seeing a different vantage point of their problem, giving them a new perspective to take a look at something. I've got a client in one of my programs right now who is a fitness coach. And she actually does not love working out, but she looks amazing and gets really amazing results for herself and for her clients. What is interesting is that there's a lot of people who believe that they can't get results in the gym because they don't love working out. So what she has done is given them a new perspective that, hey, you don't need to love working out in order to get results. So she took their head that's looking over here, that I don't love working out, so I can't get results, turning their head just a couple of degrees to show them a new perspective on how they can start to see results even if they don't love the gym. So that's what I mean by shifting their perspective on their problem. Number 4 is you want to affirm their identity on the path that they are on. If they're over here at A and they're trying to get to C and they're starting to believe that they can actually get there, how can you affirm their identity? How can you speak to who they already believe that they are on the inside, as a person who overcomes hard challenges, as a person that can do hard things, is made for this, is born for this? How can you speak to that identity and affirm that they're on the right track, even though it looks like things aren't working out, even though it looks like this is really difficult, even though they're in a challenge right now, even though they're in some kind of a trial? How can you affirm to them that them being in this trial or this challenge is actually the way through, that the obstacle is the way? That's a really good book, by the way. The Obstacle is the Way. But how can you actually affirm that they're on the right track, right? Affirm that their identity of how they start seeing themselves, because they see themselves the way God sees them. How can you start to affirm you are on the right track? You are going to make it. Affirm that their vision is clear. And then number 5, reveal why what they are doing isn't working. This is some very specific kind of content, because if your person is always looking for superficial types of answers and they're not seeing any results, It's likely because they don't have a new perspective of their problem, and they also don't see a deeper solution, and they're missing some blind spots. So you want to start creating content that allows them to see why what they're doing isn't working. And I see this a lot in entrepreneurship. And this is why my content is the way that my content is, because there's a lot of people looking for a strategy. And I think that is all well and good. But we also need to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually aligned. We need to be an embodiment of our message, which is a representation, a demonstration of our values, our beliefs, and our message. And so that is the part that people miss in the entrepreneurial space. We have to develop ourselves as the person who not only can create success, but the person who can now keep success when it is our time. And I say our time, but it's because it's God's time. God says when it's time. But how can we actually instill this kind of belief in a person so that they can actually start to see themselves in this new way, have this new reveal, start to believe that they're on the right track, and we can show them that, hey, what you've been doing, although might have gotten you a little bit of results, it's not actually going to get you that home run that you've been looking for. And so it is so essential that we understand what is valuable to our audience so we can deliver these 5 types of content where we now take our knowledge, our information, our insights, our wisdom, and frame it in these 5 types so that they can now deem it as valuable. And now you're not just serving them something that they don't want to eat, but you go into your kitchen, you go into your content creation brain kitchen, and you serve up exactly what you know they need. It's still your knowledge, it's still your insight, your wisdom, it's still your ability to serve them, but now it's framed in a way that they actually want to eat it. So I trust that this video served you. Be sure to check out my other video, which is the 4 types of content, the 4 levels of content creation that actually determine now how you are going to get paid, because each level is associated with levels of revenue. I trust this video blesses you and serves you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.